So today is definitely a day for schlepping. Schlepping all of the things. Just got back from Trader Joe's and I'm gonna put all these groceries away and then I gotta do some laundry. So today is definitely a TCB day, taking care of business. If you're new here, welcome. I am Alexis. I'm a full-time artist in Brooklyn, New York, and on this channel, typically I share my art and its inspiration and life here in New York City. If this sounds like something that you're into, I invite you to stick around. So when I get the groceries and the laundry done, I'm hoping that there's time to continue work on this collection, but sometimes the creating has to get put on hold so that you can take care of the business that keeps life moving. So let's get these groceries put away and then let's take that laundry and see what the rest of the day holds. This whole period of life has been trial and error. In my series with The Artist's Way, I spoke a lot to how I am okay with discomfort. In this life, I hope to always be learning and growing and expanding. And in order to do that, I have to have a strong relationship with discomfort and navigating through such periods. I think what has set this period apart from those that came before is the length of this discomfort. But honestly, I think that this will be the baseline moving forward to a certain degree. I'm still not over how cheap Trader Joe's is. I know that I could go like more frequently and have less to carry because it's a lot, but I think it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I kind of wait until we're in emergency mode, like when we're out of rice, and then I'll go. When we first moved into this neighborhood, it was a food desert. There was like a couple of grocery stores, but it was very difficult to find anything fresh. And I just remember that being very difficult. And now, 15 years later, the local grocery store is so expensive. And I think that is prime example of gentrification. So we'll go for things for like dinner, one meal, and it'll be $67. So the fact that I got all of this for $137 is just like, you can't beat it. So I'll do the schlep, I'll do it. Yeah, we still go to the neighborhood grocery store way more than I would like. Like, if it's been a minute since we've done an order or a Trader Joe's haul, we'll do like a daily run to the grocery store, and that just adds up so fast. So I feel pretty happy of myself that we have all of this food here now. So I'm gonna get all of this put away, and then it's time for laundry. So let's get moving. And I think if I can understand this, then it will be easier because I can accept that it will always be a path of building and growing and expansion. Nothing good happens in the comfort zone, and nothing good happens in stagnancy. I think that's it for the groceries. Now it's time for laundry, and what I want to do is I'm going to take the laundry, and we've timed it out that instead of having to wait at the laundromat, we can walk and get a coffee, and by the time we get back, the rinse cycle is done and it's ready for the dryer. So we are moving and grooving today. So let's keep going because I want to get this stuff done. Don't eat this. Maybe I'll take it just for ease. I'm always afraid that when I'm walking down the street, if my bag's too full, things are gonna fall out onto the street and then I'm not gonna know. So maybe I do need the second bag after all. Okay. All right, y'all, let's get this done. I remember having a thought about a year and a half before I left teaching that I knew what I was doing and that I could do it indefinitely. But this thought carried a resignation with it. There was an acknowledgement that there would be nothing more than this. And I tried to make peace with that. And then I hit a wall. Actually, to say that the floor fell out from underneath me is more accurate. Because I had a deep satisfaction with the stagnancy. I value contentment, but not complacency, and I had become complacent. In a moment of despair before falling asleep, I implored the universe to help me find a new path, a new life. I remember asking for something completely different, and it delivered. Laundry's in the dryer. I've got about 45 minutes. Just want to do some dishes, and then time to go get the laundry and get that put away. At least it's beautiful outside. It's been raining like a lot, or at least overcast. So if I have to be running around like a maniac today, I'm glad it's sunny. They say if you want a new life, you have to give up your old. You have to be willing to release and say goodbye to all that you knew before, because in order for the new to come in, you have to make room. Two lives cannot exist simultaneously. There was joy and fulfillment in the old, but there was also this deep inner knowing that it was not the path that I was meant to take. And as hard as I tried to ignore that knowing, it could not be unknown. So here we are, on a path where there are no guideposts, no rules, no directions, and no one or two or even three ways to do this thing. It's infinite. And if I'm being honest, that's a little scary. But I also hold on to the truth that excitement and fear cause the same synapse response, the same nervous system reaction. And so I've been sitting with that feeling, and at this point in the discomfort, it's not so much fear as it is excitement, because I am finally really truly excited about what may come to pass. And the not knowing, the discomfort, is a welcomed friend, because it means that there are infinite ways that this can go and infinite ways to grow. If I am lucky enough to make it to old age, I want to look back and be so very glad that I took this risk, that I became comfortable with the trial and error, and that I embraced the discomfort, knowing that it would enable me to experience as much of this life as I could and learn as much about what it means to be a human in this existence as possible. I hope to never turn from discomfort and embrace complacency again, even knowing how scary or perhaps exciting that might be. May you find the courage to sit with the discomfort of growth, of the unknown, so that you may experience a bit more of what is meant for you in this one wild life that you have. So everything's done, all the business. I think I'm gonna hop in the shower and then maybe just take the rest of the day to kind of plan my next step of action. But I wanted to show you, got the building of this second piece done. And so here we are. Vastly improved the building process from the last one. We have finished this, so now I just have to build it like on the final piece with the trees and then figure out who I want on the street. But we did it. This is finished. So I'm gonna figure out who I want on the street and start the sketch for the third one. But I'll check back in with you tomorrow. I recently met up with Boo. She's been creating a collection of oil paintings of her favorite New York City bartenders, and this was the latest reveal of her work. I am so thankful to have a community of artists to bounce ideas off of and to celebrate with. All right, so it's actually been a lot of days, but I'm back. I needed to get this piece for the Holyoke Paper Festival done. I got a new framing system for it, and so I spent like 5 days rebuilding it. I took it completely apart and then redid it, and this is it. It is ready, but I was able to build the trees because it's a box now. Like the first frame I had was what I was used to with the shadow box, where the back of it kind of rests in the frame, and so everything's built on the back. But this is a box that you build into, and then you put the box in the frame. And so because of that, I was able to really fill in the seams for the trees, and then the trees really became that like, and it really began to envelop the community. Now, I have been really struggling with finding frames. I don't know, they're hard to come by. This was a place that I tried and it was okay. The box that they've built, I didn't know because I didn't want to take the protective coating off of the acrylic until I was ready to frame it, but the box actually extends beyond the lip of the frame. And so I think I need to add just some like paper around the lips so you don't see all of the paper edges. I don't know, man, this has been like such an intense learning curve, and framing ain't cheap. Like this was really expensive. But it's got the museum quality acrylic. So, I mean, there's like a little bit of a glare, but you know, it's like way better than it was before. And so, I don't know, man. It's been a learning process. I had a little bit of a crash out the other day. But we made it through, and as I'm looking at it now, I feel like I need to do a couple more tweaks on this now that I've had a couple days away from it, and then I can get this sent off by tomorrow. They want it by the 30th, and if I send it out tomorrow, I think that's more than enough time. But I have been working to get this rebuilt. So I completely deconstructed it. Like I have these like little gardening scissors that Fiskars sent me a while ago, and I just went in and I cut every adhesive that I had holding this together, and I completely rebuilt it. And now it is like sturdy, and it's like, I don't know, I think it was definitely the right thing because it's like a cohesive, solid structure now, where before it was like a puzzle. Now it feels like a solid building. So I'm really happy with that. I just have to figure out the edges. I thought I was done, but now that I'm looking at it, I want to fix it. And I also don't know if I'm like being too much of a perfectionist with this. There's been a bit of that as well, where it's like, I want this to be the best that it possibly can be. And so I've been really precious with it, to the point of almost driving myself mad. And I know that there's like a certain point where you just have to release it. But I do, if the frame covered the edge of the box, I would be done, right? But I want to go and fix that. So I think that's what I am going to do here in a minute. But we are so close, and I finished the second piece, or at least I think it's finished. I have like maybe one more person I'm going to add, but I'll show you what we've got with that one. And so I am going to very carefully pull this box out and see how I can very carefully cover those edges. Next time, I'm contemplating two things. Do I leave the paper longer and wrap it around the edges, or do I throw away the box that they send and build my own, so that I can ensure that a couple of things: the edges are 90 degrees, and also it doesn't extend beyond the lip of the frame. I don't know if anybody in New York or anybody in America has a frame company that they've really liked. I am in the process of trying to find something that is not going to completely break the bank, but the most important thing is that they have the museum quality acrylic. So that's anti-glare and UV protection for the paper. And then other than that, I'm pretty flexible. I don't know, I'm really struggling. The framing part aspect of this has been like one of the most challenging. Like the second piece is done. Of course, it's not like built into the box, but I'm sitting here like, do I buy another one of these frames? And then do I like take everything that I learned with this first one and take it into the second one? I don't know. I don't know if anybody has any advice. I'm all ears because I feel a little bit like I am drinking from a fire hose, which is fine. Every time I turn around, there's like a new thing to learn. And I can't wait until I have like the basics figured out. So right now I'm like still troubleshooting so many of the basics, and I can't wait to just have that complete so I can get to finishing this collection, or not even finishing it, but like adding to it. So I am going to pull this box out and see what I can figure out. This is it outside of the frame, and maybe you can see it a little bit better. I know it's like so hard to capture colors on YouTube, but this is it. And you can see the trees a little bit better. So I was able to kind of fill in those seams, right? But I like spent so much time measuring so that I could fold the paper into these corners, and it sticks out, which is a total bummer. It's a total bummer. I don't know, I tried a bunch of things. I tried like trimming it and doing whatever, and then you can still see the edges, so I should have left it longer, especially at the top. I folded it down on the bottom, I noticed that, and I pulled that out the other day, but I am going to try and figure out how to cover this so that even if a millimeter sticks out, you can't see it, because I just feel like it ruins the illusion, and I feel like that shouldn't be happening. So she's done. I'm excited about her, but I have a lot more work to do. We're just in for another TCB day. This is another day of I've got to get shit done, so let's get it done, because I need to get this out the door, and I need to fill out some paperwork for the gallery that is exhibiting the work. But if you are in Holyoke, Massachusetts on June 7th, you can go, or if you're close by, there's the first annual Holyoke Paper Festival, which is super cool. I was thinking about going, but we have a friend in town, the guy who actually married me and Mario. He's playing a show, Mario's playing with them, and I'm gonna be in Baltimore the week before, and so it was like going from Baltimore to Holyoke. Actually, it's gonna be like Baltimore to New York to Holyoke for just like 24 hours. It's like 3 buses and a cab to get there, and doing that solo feels intimidating. So this is not the year. I would like to go eventually, but maybe there's a second annual, but this piece will be there. And I learned so much from this one. And I feel like it has enabled me to complete the second one with vast improvements, and I'm ready for the third one. So I'm gonna get this finished and then figure out if I want to add any more people to the street for the second one. And I don't know, man, my brain is like, when I was teaching, my supervisor, who is a dear friend of mine, we would always laugh at like report card time or like the end of the year, like our brains are shooting sprockets, right? Like because there's just so much you're trying to keep track of. And I feel like that's kind of where my brain is right now. As I'm finalizing this, and as I'm working on the second piece, and as I'm like wrapping my brain around markets. If anybody's done a market, let me know. I'm so intimidated by them, but the New York Poetry Festival reached out to me a couple months ago now, and I have like 2 weeks to decide if I feel like it's something that I can do, and I kind of want to do it. Thinking about aligned action, and I mentioned that in the last video, I think the last video, how I'm in a state of where I need to be taking the action to actually get to where I want to go. all of this is aligned action, and it's like investing in the practice and investing in the business to get to the next step. And the investing part can feel scary when things have been so tight for so long. But I also know that it's necessary to get to that next step. So that's kind of where I'm like, and yeah, okay. I'm gonna spare you for the rest of that. And let's see if we can get this trimmed out so that it looks good. I think this is gonna work. The craft glue wasn't working, so I'm just using some super glue. It's just trial and error over here. I don't know. I don't know. I think that worked. Slow and steady. This is making the styrofoam a little hot. Hope that's okay. I think this is gonna work. Is it perfect? No, but it's like you won't even really see it. It's just meant to cover the ledge. So yeah. Okay. hope that this doesn't like start a fire. You know, there's like random chemical reactions. So that worked. Now I know in the future to leave a lip on the paper if I'm going to continue to use these kinds of frames, but it looks like a cohesive, polished, finished piece. This whole process has been a lot of trial and error, mostly error. But we got there in the end and it's ready to be shipped out. I'm gonna send it here tomorrow so that it gets to the show in time, but this is the piece. It is done, and now you can see that, like, I mean, maybe you can see, but you can't see the lip anymore. It's all covered. So it just looks really good. I'm really proud of myself. And yeah, if you've made it this far, listen, I've been trying to be better about meeting up with you guys every week. I have just been in such an intense hermit mode. And I know that some seasons of life require that. And I know that this season of life has required that, as I've been like really working to get this collection moving and to get it ready so that I can start applying to the opportunities that will allow for this to turn into something. I keep thinking about aligned action, and right now I am in like the thick of it. I've spent a lot of time over the past handful of years, like, I'm gonna set this down, but thinking about what it is that I want, and now it's time to do it. So it is a lot of work, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having more fun than I've ever had, but it has definitely been at times a little overwhelming. And I wanted to pop on and say, hey, to let you know what we've been up to. It's been a lot of just like TCB, taking care of business. So if I'm not in the thick of it, getting these pieces finalized, I am taking care of just like life, laundry, grocery shopping, making sure that like, y'all, I have paper in every room of this apartment right now. And it's causing me a little bit of anxiety, a little guilt, but it's just the season of life that we're in. And my hope is that by taking this action and by really having the courage to put one foot in front of the other, that by this time next year, I'll have a studio space outside of the apartment. But I know that in order to get there, I've got to be working. So it is a work season and it feels good. I just want to thank you for showing up and for spending some time with me in a slightly unusual hang, but if you've made it this far, thank you. And if you enjoyed this video, I would be really truly honored if you gave it a thumbs up. That helps you to know that there's something happening here, and if you would like to follow along as I pave my path forward as a full-time artist here in Brooklyn, New York, I would be honored if you subscribed. We've got over 900 of you, and I'm so thrilled that each and every one of you are here, and I'm hoping to get to 1,000, maybe by the 1st of July. I don't know, we'll see how that goes, but thank you for spending your time with me, and lastly, whatever time of day you watch this. I hope it's been a kind one. Until next time.